All right, I'm really trying to think about the best way to approach this video. And I think that, one thing that YouTubers do really well is share a lot of their successes. And I feel like that's been a lot of this channel, right? My investment successes, how much I'm making, dividend payments that I'm receiving, hitting milestones, all these different great things that have happened. But a video like this, I think, really helps to humble me and show proof. Like I struggle just like anybody else. I make poor decisions just like other people. And, the best that I can do is mitigate what's been going on, is try to take away a lot of lessons from it, make sure it doesn't happen again, and make sure that I share everything with you guys so you don't make a lot of the same mistakes that I do. And so if you guys are brand new to this channel, well, let me just lead off by saying welcome. My name is Dalton. This is dlitztv. And on this channel, we talk about all things personal finance, wealth building, and investing related. Now, normally I'm really upbeat and happy and, sharing all this information that I have. And in this video, obviously the tone is a little bit different and it's really upsetting for me because, well, let me just jump right in. So one of my goals was to get into real estate, was to buy a duplex, to live in half of it and have the other half offset the mortgage, pay for a majority of it, right? And so found this property, seemingly checked all the boxes. It looked really good. It was fully occupied. It had tenants in both units. We were going to be able to actually live in a 3-bedroom unit. The people that were currently living in the property were actually buying a house, so they were on their way out. It was just waiting for a 2-month transition period. We'd be able to move into the property and things would be good. So that was the mindset I had when I was buying this property. And I was like, oh man, it can't be all that bad. Like, people have been living there. I understood that there were some things that needed to be done to get it to the point where I was ready to move in with my girlfriend and we'd be able to actually move into this house that I just bought. And right off the bat, the day after I purchased the property, I had things waiting in my inbox. And I had an inspection done. I did everything I felt necessary to get it to the right point, make the correct purchase decision. The numbers made sense. Everything was looking good. And I was pretty confident with the purchase. And, one thing that didn't come up were the cockroaches that were all over the property.
In here. Oh my God. Oh! Wow.
And so the top tenants move out and we start to do some work up there. I mean, there are tons of roaches and I've never seen anything like it. It makes my skin crawl. And in the area that I live in New Hampshire, there's just nothing like that. Like I've honestly never even seen a cockroach before. And so that's super discouraging. It takes a while. I've been looking up a lot about roaches. It takes a while to get things in order because each egg that they lay up to 40 different, they can hatch up to 40 different cockroaches, right? And so they pretty much multiply really quickly. So you need to get a jump on it as fast as possible. That's exactly what I've been trying to do. Now I hired a pest management company to come in and, the first couple visits, nothing was really happening. And so I decided, you know what, I've spent about $1,200. I need to really try and do something here. I went out, I got all the materials myself. I decided to self-treat, and now I've started to see some of the results from it. So that's just like one small thing that's been going on in the grand scheme of things, but it really pushes back my timeline. Now, we had to completely gut the kitchen because of how bad it was. We had to get out vanities in the bathroom, the shower, really try to get to the root of the issue. And I think we're starting to overcome that hump that was created from that. And so that is really just discouraging. And I don't think that we're going to be living in the property at least until that is addressed. And honestly, there's some other things that need to happen. So it could be, 6 months. Now, the other thing is I did have an inspection done. And in the inspection, there were some issues, I guess, that needed to be addressed in the basement. And this is an old basement from New England. So it was literally granite and stone, like rock foundation, and had bricks and all these different things. And I went in it and was talking to my agent and talking to the inspector. And I was really convinced that there wasn't a lot of issues with it. It was just an old basement, and that's how old basements looked because I'd never dealt with it my entire life. Now, the house itself was built in 1875. On the selling notes, it was built in 1900, so there was a disconnect there. It's a very old place, and literally I just thought, you know what, that's what it probably looks like. So I come to after the purchase, right? I get a structural engineer in there who says, "Yep, this needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed before winter." And so I'm like, "Okay, now I need to bump that to the front of the line." I talked to a couple different people, and the first company that comes in there, I get a quote back. And I was under the impression that initially, when I bought this place, the basement, it would need some work. It would need about $5,000 in work, is what I sort of estimated based off of everything that I was told, and that's what other people were telling me. They're like, I wouldn't expect anything more than $5,000 to fix this up. First company comes back to solve about half of the issues. They said it was going to cost $50,000. So I didn't even know what to think about it. I'm still sort of dumbfounded by that. And I was really stressed. I just made the worst purchase decision of my life. I thought I did all the research. The numbers look good. Everything looked good on my end. And I was really stressed out. And so I was very discouraged. And I've been doing everything I could to try and figure out that situation. And what ended up happening is I found somebody who could fix the problem. I asked around, talked to a number of different people, got references, and found somebody who can fix it for a fraction of the cost, a lot more effectively, and do more for me. I think the company that I went with was just very high end when they gave me the quote, and it was super stressful. So basically, my time and effort now, instead of being focused on YouTube and sharing all these successes, sharing the investments, has been working on this property.
Careful. Yeah, baby.
And trying to get it to the point where I feel comfortable enough to live there, feel comfortable enough renting it out, and feel comfortable enough with the people I'm working with to not necessarily rip me off and try to just, pad their bank account. And so, like I said, there's just been a lot with it and a lot of stuff that wasn't anticipated. And the best way that, the best thing that's coming out of it is that I'm just learning so much. I'm learning how to not only pour footings with cement, put up lally columns, structurally support a building. Like literally there is things that I never thought that I would need to know that I'm learning that I can carry on with me and I can help out other people. I plan to talk about each and every issue eventually in the future. It's just so new and I'm still dealing with it that it's like just very overwhelming for me. And so with this, I hope that I'm not losing momentum here on YouTube and I'm not just pushing it aside, but I just want to share, I guess, some of these struggles that I'm dealing with because it really does affect me and it's been taking a lot of my drive away, but it's also because I am there pretty much every day, like setting up forms for the foundation, doing all these different things, taking care of it, putting the matters into my hands and trying to get it fixed as quickly and as efficiently as possible. All of this during a time where there's labor shortages and all of these different material costs have super skyrocketed, trying to keep it within budget, which we've been doing a pretty good job of so far, but that's sort of where I'm at. And so I guess the point of this video is to showcase some of the hardships that I'm facing with one of the purchase, like the biggest purchase decision that I've made. And I try to do everything that I possibly could to ensure that it was a wise purchase decision. And I think at the end of the day, it's still going to work out, like financially looking at the numbers. If we can keep it within a certain budget, like it's still pretty solid investment, especially as I plan to hold on to this property for a very long time. But I got to say, I'm just really upset at the way that things sort of have unfolded so far. And I'm a planner when it comes to my finances, like more than anything else. And when it comes to renovations, and when it comes to, I guess, fixing up an older property, it seems like you do one thing and it opens up a new can of worms. And so a lot of the stuff that has been appearing has just been, one after another. I get hit by this. And I was really thrown into what it is to be a homeowner pretty quick, what it is to be a landlord pretty quick, how to balance relationships, how to handle different things. And, obviously if I could live there, a lot of these issues would be much more manageable because now every time I go there, it's like an hour out of my day just to get there, to deal with some of the issues. It takes longer. And, I've needed to be there for a lot of different projects. And so that's just kind of like where I'm at. I wanted to make a quick little update video. I know it's not my usual video and I'm not as upbeat as I have been in the past. And I do plan on getting back to those grassroots of investments. I guess I can say right now that being a dividend investor is one of my favorite things during this time because of the consistency it offers and everything that dividend investing stands for. This is like a prime example of being comfortable with my money in the market, with the investments that it has been in, and seeing the results that I want to see. And I know people are going to be commenting like, oh, you know, you're young, you should be only investing in growth. I got both investments. I invest in both, but that's just beside that. I'm just going off on a tangent now. Really, yeah, I just wanted to make this video to share with you guys, show, hey, I'm not Superman, right? I make mistakes too, and I'm trying my best to make this work out. And, you know, I guess just if I didn't have the cash position that I set myself up to have before buying this property, like I would really be in a hole that I think would be unsurmountable and I wouldn't be able to get out. But I do fully plan on talking about everything on this channel. And when we get to that point, I'll definitely be putting out several videos around it, showing you guys what I'm doing, talk about some of the process. I'm excited for that stuff. But for now, definitely humbled from this purchase decision. In damage control, I do fully plan on going back to YouTube and making a ton more videos. I just haven't been in the right mind space yet, and I will get back there, I promise. So for those of you who have stuck around, who've watched those videos I've kind of put out in the interim, I really appreciate each and every one of you. It means so much. I'm trying to make this, you know, an emphasis for me here on YouTube. I'm trying to stay positive, level-headed, keep everything rolling forward. I just want to say, guys, like, for the support, I mean, thank you so much for everything so far, and, you know, continuing into the future. You can expect more from this channel. Just for the time being, very stressed out trying to deal with this stuff, and you guys mean a lot more than me. Then I can even explain some of your tips on the last real estate video, like everything you guys have done, reaching out to me on Instagram, showing me support. It really means a lot. So from the bottom of my heart, guys, thank you. And, you know, I look forward to making videos in the future.